Hello everybody, this is Ghost Hunter 385 and I am back again with more StarCraft and more commentary. Let's get into things here. Ooh, mercenaries. Let's see, Devil Dogs and Hammer Securities. You know, the mercenaries, in my opinion, would be more worth it if and only if you got more of them. That would be worth it to me.
Your Mobius buddies ever happen to mention that the Queen of Blades wants these artifacts too?
Yeah, Tychus, this is called, who am I working for? Okay, and then from here, this is called, okay, they're sending me these missions, and they're not telling me who's all after what they're sending me for. This is a problem, don't you think?
Right.
Yeah, doing my part for humanity and getting paid well. Nice thought, but only if it actually pays off in the end and you, oh yeah, live. Queen of Blades. Yes, she is an infested Terran. Would you also like to hear how your beloved Emperor is the one who caused her to become infested and what she is? Should we run that story at the 10 o'clock or the 8 o'clock? Oh wait, we have Dominion security banging on the door? Well, isn't that a problem?
The question is then,
that's one I think we all can agree on. If humanity is to survive, the Queen of Blades needs to be eliminated.
The sad part is there is some truth to that last statement. The unification of the Zerg is a problem.
Commander, the alien artifact is all secure in the lab, sir. You know, seeing it got me to thinking about my special project.
Alien artifact and experiments. Ah yes, my poor experiments.
I still need some additional specimens. Once I get those, I'll make some big improvements to our weapon systems
But
and tactics.
improvements. Hey, yes, what do we need? We need Zerg DNA biosamples and Protoss crystal technology artifacts. Sure, let's go. Alright, in the lab we are. Let's see, Zerg tank. Let's see, what does this say? Recovered Zerg sample is growing. I've introduced a processing solution that might have been a mistake. Blubbity, 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 blah. Dr. Hansen. Asking about Sarah Kerrigan. Ooh, very sore subject for James Rayner right here, and he does not want to talk about it at all. Nope, and nope. But then again, that kind of trauma that happened is not something you would want to deal with much, if you ask me.
I've been hearing strange stories from the crew.
Strange stories about the crew. You know, it's funny. She says superstitious nonsense.
Superstitious nonsense.
But
These artifacts are
you know what's funny about this is that seems that artifact is Zelnaga. There's a good chance that psychic impressions are left on it, and the crows hearing them are people who probably have what's the word I'm looking for? Acting like have brains more like a ghost, maybe. Fortified bunker and strike turret. Both are good, but I believe I will take the strike turret here, folks. Why do I take the strike turret? Simple here, folks. Excuse me, sorry. But I take the strike turret for the most part because I can build it and then it defends my base without me having to spend minerals on Marines that I may not be able to do yet. So it helps. But what about what about a stronger bunker? It's nice, but it doesn't always work. And mission time. Meinhof. Just so everybody knows, I cut out a lot of the fluff from this video. I had to do so in order to cut down the video time drastically. Also, I cut out the most boring parts here, so not a whole loss. Bioinfestation. A Zerg virus, a single-celled Zerg organism that infests Terrans. I never actually said that in the previous game, but when you think about what it does, damn, that's just, it's terrible when you think about it. It's like The Last of Us, where I remember hearing somewhere that the kind of fungus that happened in The Last of Us, it created those fungal zombie things. You know what's actually sad about that? Is that the people who are infested, where the parasite hasn't actually eaten all of the brain yet, they're still there. They just can't control themselves anymore. It's actually terrifying when you think about it. Imagine being made to move around and do things, attack people, harm people, and you cannot stop yourself. You physically have no control of yourself. That sounds like a fate worse than death, and is terrifying. But in any case, let's get on to today's subject, which will be relationship advice for women from a man's perspective here. Now, some might say, Ghost Hunter, aren't you doing this topic a bit soon? I mean, you just did a topic for men. And, you know, the answer to that is that this video is too long to do what I wanted to talk about with this video. So I'm going to do that with the shorter video where I can cut out more of the fluff. So let's start off here with my first tip for the ladies. Okay, ladies, tip 1. Where to start with tip 1? Alright, tip 1. If you have a past where you've done things you aren't particularly proud of, disclose to your partner, boyfriend, future spouse, however you want to phrase this. I'm using moderately nice language here to not upset some people, just to try and keep things as a general nicety. But I don't have any qualms pulling punches for whether it be boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, or not. Don't keep too many secrets here. And this can apply for men as well. But this is strictly more for women, because women tend to hide their baggage a bit more than guys do. And I can already hear some women saying, no, I don't. And it's like, well, here's the fundamental problem. Everybody's got baggage. And no matter how much we wish we didn't, everyone's got baggage. And sometimes women's baggage is a lot worse than the guys. Now, some might say, that's wrong. And it's like, well, here's a fundamental fact. A guy has a body count of 100 women. He gets slaps on the back and says, dude, you are such a Chad. The ladies love you, bro. You got any tips? That's what men do. Because not all guys approve of that lifestyle. But, a guy who gets women and consistently gets laid, he is idolized. Why? Not because of his Johnson or anything like that. He's idolized because he is successful with women. But that's not the point of this video. I'm talking about if you've done pictures, you've made P videos, you need to disclose that to your partner. And also, as a side note to that, because you made that video, expect whoever, boyfriend, husband, whatever, girlfriend, if that's how you are, to ask for, not necessarily ask for said video, but expect them to ask for, hey, will you do that stuff with me? Oh, come on. Do it with me too. Come on. Oh, you don't respect you did it when you didn't respect yourself, or you were desperate and now you won't do it? Guys will hold that against you. I mean, I've listened to some Reddit stories that I thought were even stupid. I mean, there's an example of a Reddit story out there floating around where a guy marries a girl and she lied to him about her sexual past, and it ultimately ended up with the destruction of their relationship because he couldn't stand to be with her anymore because, shocking, guess what? One of the guys she used to hook up with, or was an FWB here, he absolutely hated the guy, couldn't stand him at all. And after he realized his wife had been touched by this dude in that way, he couldn't be with her anymore. It literally made him sick to be with her. Now, some ladies here might sit there and say, oh my god, that's pathetic. And well, the thing that's actually really sad here is that trauma goes deep. And it's sad to say that, but it's the very, very sad truth. Trauma can go deep. And you don't believe me? Ask any real victims of crimes. And when I say real victims of crimes like DV, R, women who sit, and people will sit there and say that, what do you mean, real victims? And I really don't want to talk about it. But in any case, ladies, let's move on to point, I believe we're on 3 here. Point 3. Well, not point 3. Tip number 3. Let's go with that. Tip number 3 or 4 here. Alright, from this point on this tip, ladies, let's see. If you have, what's the word I'm looking for here? If you have an ex-boyfriend who is your quote-unquote friend, cut him off, okay? But he's such a good friend and he was my friend before we dated. No, you need to dump him. Especially because that means there are feelings involved still with him. And if you still have feelings involved with him, then that means there's a chance that your feelings might come back. You are best in cutting that off so that way it doesn't interfere with the new relationship. I can't tell you how many of those YouTube Reddit stories where you hear these women who get in contact with their exes or their boyfriends, hear about them getting involved with their exes, and then next thing you know, what does he find? He finds that his girlfriend wife is hooking up with this old boyfriend because of, he did X better, he did Y better, he did this better, he did that better, or she never got to fully experience the relationship with him. So because you did not get to fulfill the relationship with him because XYZ went wrong, does not mean you need to sit there and keep him around. Because every guy knows that. Because every guy who nowadays who pays attention to how women operate, they know that girls always have some dude on the back burner. And if she's got a dude on the back burner, she's not invested into the relationship because she can't. I can't cut Chad off because he was such a good boyfriend to me. But yeah, he was a big jerk and only used me, but he was so sweet. when we were together. He could be sweet sometimes. Ladies, do yourself a favor here. Cut off the exes, especially if those exes could be considered, what's what I'm looking for here? Toxic. Now, in all seriousness, I'm not sitting here saying cutting off guy friends here, because there will be plenty of people who tell you if you got a guy friend, you can't be girlfriend material. I will sit here and say that because you have guy friends and stuff, that, he should be, that any guy, husband or boyfriend should be wary because of everything. That you really need to be careful with what you do. Why is that? Because these guys might just try and slip their way into your panties. Best bet is to cut off exes and make sure you have more than just arm's reach with all your guy friends. Especially when you know that they were your friend first just to try and get with you. Okay? Savvy? We good? Alright. Tip number 4 or 5 here. I'm not sure if I'm going to get flack for this one or not, but boundaries, ladies. Boundaries. Why boundaries here? It's really quite simple. If your dude or whomever has issues with his past, that with family, and there is some trauma associated with that, do not go prying, do not go digging. Just let them come to you when they're ready. Because it's a process for them to talk about things. Because we already covered secrets here. And I've already paid that price. Boundaries are different. Boundaries are, you don't cross this line in the sand. Because this is a simplified version of what a boundary is. It's a line in the sand you don't cross without express permission. Now, are there a couple ways that you could step over this on your own? Sure. But I would only do it in the utmost emergency. Emergencies. Potential threat to loss of life here. More or less, you, as this person in a relationship, you do not cross boundaries unless there is the necessity. Now, some might sit here and say, why is that? And the answer to that is straightforward and simple. What do you mean it's straightforward and simple? Basically, it means this. You violate somebody's boundaries, especially when trauma is involved in cases of abuse, DV, RAPE, molestation. You have to touch those boundaries very, very carefully. Why is that? Because you do not know how somebody will respond to that. Somebody, if you bring up their trauma, they could go total blackout and they can attack people. It's been known to happen. You don't violate somebody's boundaries without good reason and just cause. If you have to violate, and if you sit there and violate somebody's boundaries because you love the drama, I suggest you go see a therapist, because that is not healthy for any form of relationship unless that's your sole purpose in having a relationship. Okay, folks? Dead serious here. Okay. Now let's move on to tip, what are we on? 5, 6 here. More or less, tip 5 or 6 here. is going to more or less boil down to not the boundaries, not the secrets, but respect. Respect what? Respect that he has to look at other women? No. Respect what your boyfriend, partner, whatever, respect their hobbies. Just because you think it's stupid and boring does not mean you get to sit there and tell them that they should not do it. And especially for somebody who has a spine or somebody who has a heavy rebellious streak, guess what they're going to do? The rebel's going to rebel, and the person with the backbone is going to tell you to F off or GTFO until you can be a decent person. Oh my goodness, that's rude and terrible. How dare you? Well, guess what, Buttercup? Are you waiting? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you ready? In the immortal word of Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik, nobody cares. Nobody cares that you're getting dumped for disrespecting somebody's hobbies or things that they like to do to relax after the day, after their day's work, whatever that may be. So guess what? You get dumped, no one is going to have any sympathy or any pity for your mistake. Okay, ladies, as for that, the next tip I have for you here is simple. Let's see. Oh wait, no, I already went over respect. What should I do next here? I'm going to take a moment and think about this. Give me a moment. You know, at this point, the only thing I can really say, simply at this point, is do not, I repeat, do not create a power vacuum in your relationship. What do you mean don't create a power vacuum? I'm a strong, independent woman who, if I want to go out wearing a short skirt and a thong or no panties at all, guess what? Double middle fingers to you, and I wear what I want. Oh, really? You're strong and independent. Okay, good for you. But just remember, he has thoughts. He has feelings too. Yes, as men, we do have feelings. We may not show them in the way that women do, but we do have feelings. And, oh my gosh, guess what, ladies? If you're going to be Miss Independent, wow, guess what he's going to do? He's going to exercise his rights as a male, as a man, and say, well, if you don't have any respect for me in this relationship, I don't need you in this relationship. I will find somebody. Excuse me. I will find somebody who will respect what I ask in this relationship. Now, as a quick caveat to this, if he sits there and says, I expect hooking up with you every day, and you aren't about that every day, then there's a little bit of a loophole there, because as respect goes and comes, you need to respect. He needs to learn respect as well. If he doesn't have it, well, my best guess here is find another dude. Then from there, if your quote-unquote boyfriend is such a jerk and an abusive massive a-hole here, dump him and find somebody else. Because guess what? The way he treats you is going the way he treats you unless he decides to change himself. Guess what? That's only if he decides to change himself. Yes, Donnie's all heart and he believes in the Emperor. But in any case, thank you for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, bang that bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.